Worry, I'm keeping everything spoiler-free so you can experience the thrills fresh. Let's jump right in and explore every nook and cranny of what makes this film so special. First off, let's talk about the man behind the camera, Christopher Nolan. If you're a fan of mind-bending stories and visually stunning worlds, you already know Nolan's name. He's the director who brought us Inception, Interstellar, and Dunkirk. But with The Dark Knight Rises, he cements his status as a visionary in the superhero genre. Nolan didn't just direct this film, he co-wrote the screenplay alongside his brother Jonathan Nolan and David S. Goyer. The story is inspired by the iconic DC Comics character Batman, created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger back in 1939. This movie serves as the grand finale to Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, which started with Batman Begins in 2005 and continued with The Dark Knight in 2008. It's like the epic conclusion to a saga that's redefined how we see Caped Crusaders on screen, not as cartoonish heroes, but as complex, human figures grappling with real-world issues. Why should you watch it? Well, imagine a film that blends high-octane action with deep philosophical questions about justice, fear, and redemption. It's set in a gritty, realistic version of Gotham City, where the stakes feel incredibly high. The Dark Knight Rises picks up 8 years after the events of The Dark Knight, showing a world that's changed, and our hero Batman, played brilliantly by Christian Bale, has to confront new threats that challenge everything he stands for. But again, no spoilers here. I want you to feel that rush when you see it unfold. What I can say is that this movie isn't afraid to tackle big ideas, like the corruption of power and the resilience of the human spirit. It's inspiring, thought-provoking, and leaves you pondering long after the credits roll. If you're tired of superficial blockbusters, this one's got substance that'll stick with you. Now let's geek out over the production details because this film was a massive undertaking. Produced by Warner Bros. Pictures in association with Legendary Pictures and DC Entertainment, The Dark Knight Rises had a whopping $250 million budget. That's right, $250 million, and it shows in every frame. Filming took place across multiple locations to give Gotham that authentic, sprawling feel. They shot in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which stood in for much of Gotham, transforming places like Heinz Field into key settings. Other spots included Los Angeles, New York City, and even international locales like Jodhpur in India for some exotic sequences and parts of Scotland and England for that epic scope. Nolan is known for his practical effects over CGI, so a lot of the action you see, like massive vehicle chases and explosive set pieces, was done for real with minimal computer trickery. That authenticity makes the film feel grounded and immersive. The runtime is a solid 165 minutes, about 2 hours and 45 minutes, which might sound long, but trust me, it flies by. Every second is packed with tension, drama, and spectacle. It was released on July 20th, 2012, and premiered in IMAX theaters, which Nolan loves for their massive screens and crystal clear quality. In fact, over 70 minutes of the film were shot using IMAX cameras, making it a visual feast. If you can watch it in IMAX or on a big screen at home, do it. The scale is breathtaking. Speaking of visuals, the cinematography is handled by Wally Pfister, Nolan's go-to collaborator who won an Oscar for Inception. Pfister's work here captures the dark, brooding atmosphere of Gotham with shadowy lighting and sweeping shots that make the city feel alive and menacing. The color palette is muted and realistic, emphasizing the film's noir influences. And let's not forget the editing by Lee Smith, who keeps the pace razor-sharp, juggling multiple storylines without ever feeling confusing. Now the music. Oh man, the score by Hans Zimmer is legendary. Zimmer, who scored everything from The Lion King to Gladiator, teams up with Nolan again to create a soundtrack that's pulse-pounding and emotional. The main theme builds on motifs from the previous films, with heavy percussion, chanting choirs, and those iconic brass swells that give you chills. Tracks like Rise and Fear Will Find You perfectly amp up the drama. Zimmer even incorporated real-world sounds like crowd chants to make it feel organic. The score isn't just background noise, it's a character in itself, driving the narrative forward and heightening every moment. All right, let's shine a spotlight on the incredible cast because this ensemble is stacked with talent. Leading the charge is Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne Batman. Bale brings such depth to the role. He's not just a brooding billionaire, he's a man haunted by his past, physically and emotionally battered. This is Bale's third time donning the cape, and he delivers a performance that's raw and vulnerable, showing why he's one of the best actors of his generation. Opposite him is Tom Hardy as the formidable villain Bane. Hardy, known for roles in Inception and Mad Max Fury Road, transforms himself completely with a bulked-up physique and that distinctive modulated voice. Bane isn't your typical bad guy. He's intelligent, ruthless, and philosophical, making him a worthy adversary. Then there's Anne Hathaway as Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman. Hathaway, fresh off films like The Devil